Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today I'm going to be repotting my Chinese Privet. I last potted it into this pot in November of 2022 and I had a lot of problems with it. I had a hard job keeping this tree watered, and there's a couple of factors. One, it's a fairly small pot for the tree, and the other is I use the Bonsai supply soil, which is a fairly coarse soil that doesn't really hold a lot of moisture in the soil. So I'm going to repot it into a larger pot. I've got an Erin pot here, a cascade pot that's quite nice, and I'm going to use my finer bonsai soil. I think that'll hold the moisture in the root system better. So let's begin. Here is a look at the tree. It's been chilling in the basement over winter, and this cool period encourages flowering in spring, and they get beautiful white flowers on them. This tree was originally from the Tropical Expressions workshop, and the last time I repotted it, I had to take quite a section off of the root system. This trunk kind of extended down and then took a 90-degree turn, and I removed a large chunk of it. I'll show you some highlights from the last repotting. Let's see if the tree comes out of the pot now. It's coming. There it comes. Wow. Okay. Yeah, look at the roots on the bottom. That is a lot of root growth. Wow. Now it's good that there's all these fine roots, because if I want to reduce the root system and fit it in that small pot, you need a lot of fine roots to make that happen. I'm thinking the root has to go still. And my reason is that, you know, it's a very thick root. It's almost, well, it is the same diameter as a trunk line. It's a cool root, but it causes all kinds of styling problems. I'm trying to see if there's a way around it. I mean, I could have it like this, so the root is kind of parallel with the ground. It does disappear a little bit here, just showing the surface, but if I got rid of it, it allows me to cascade the tree a little more. If I keep it, I almost have to raise it up, and it starts to look not so good. Well, I think it's causing more trouble than it's worth. I think I've got to get rid of it. It's just, yeah, it's got to go. So here I go. I'm going to start with this little bit of it out here. Very tough wood. There's that end bit of it. So now you can see this root system in here. I'll cut through here. Then I've got to cut in through here. Try to get all these roots out of the way. This may be too ambitious of a cut, but I'll try it. Here I go. There it goes. So there's a look at the cut. So yeah, a big root. Look at that. Okay, so now I need to nibble that away. Get rid of that big, thick root. And just be left with my fine root system. Okay, here's what I am left with. So for starters, there's a weird bump here. Looks like a branch or something was developing there. That is going to come off. Like that. So I think this is the pot. I can bias it over a little bit. All right, let's get the pot ready. I'll get a drainage screen in it, get some soil, and we'll get the tree planted. I'll place a stone here, maybe like that. That keeps it nice in the pot. It's not going to move or anything until those roots get established. Okay, I think that's a good repotting. It'll be in the greenhouse. It'll be nice and warm, at least for the next few days. I'll keep it well misted, and hopefully it'll recover and bounce back. I did a lot of work on this tree today, a lot of root work for sure. So it'll be interesting to see how strong these privets are, see if it bounces back with vigor. All right, here I go with the watering. We are back to present day time now, so I'll get the tree out of the pot and have a look at the root system. Okay, I'm going to get the tree out of the pot. I don't know how hard that will be, but let's just try giving it a pull. There we go. It's out of the pot. It looks like it's grown lots of roots over the last kind of year and a half. So I'll begin raking out the root system, removing all the old soil. Yeah, I find this Bonsai Supply soil is good for larger trees, but for the smaller trees I find it a little bit coarse. The particle size is quite large. And yeah, I was having trouble watering it last year. On hot summer days it would dry out like very, very quickly. And there was a couple of days where the leaves went crispy on the tree. I just couldn't water it enough. So I think, finer soil and a deeper, larger pot will do the trick. And the larger, deeper pot will also make the tree look better. I never liked this blue pot with it. It needs like a proper cascade pot. So there's the remains of the large chunk on the root system of the original, I don't know if it was a cutting, probably a cutting. So it's quite ugly, and I'm hoping to remove that totally someday, if not today. Lots of fine roots have formed, which is good. Privets are really good at growing roots. You can cut them back hard. And privets, you can grow them quite easily from cuttings, and any tree that can be grown from a cutting easily usually generates roots quite easily also. So you can be quite hard with the root pruning, and the tree will survive and recover and start to grow with vigor quite quickly. Now, I think I have a drainage screen in the bottom here that I need to get out. There it is. I'll take the old pot away and continue combing out the root system and untangling all these roots that have gone around the bottom of the pot. And I don't want to cut them off yet because I want to keep as much root system of the good roots as I can. They can just go, into the deeper pot. Most of them anyway. If I reduce the root system again, I'll probably get, sort of a mediocre growing season out of the tree rather than a strong growing season. Which I need to do because this tree is in development. It's got, some big cuts on it. It's got a big groove in it from where it was grown. It was wrapped around a stake to make this kind of S shape. So it's definitely a commercially grown tree. Nothing, not a high quality tree. It's a very quick and commercial tree. But it doesn't mean you can't make it into something very, very special with time and work. Now, I cannot wash the root system today because my tub of water outside is totally frozen. We've had some really cool weather, and we're going to get cool weather for at least a week. Yeah, so you can see the trunk extending down, and then it kind of curls around, and yeah, it's not a beautiful root system on this tree, but I think, over the years, I can make it into something really, really nice. It's just not there yet. Okay, so that is bare rooted. So I'll clean up and we'll start the root pruning. Here is a look at the root system. So you can see this big lump that's attached to the tree. I do have a lot of radial roots that have formed, which is good. So my question, or my point I'm pondering about, is do I have enough roots that I could remove that lump entirely? That is the question. Wow. Well, I've got to do it sometime, and I might as well do it today. How to remove it? I don't want to, disturb these roots up here, so it might be just a matter of fact of nibbling away at that to get rid of it. So I'll begin by removing all the roots that are coming off of this lump, so I can see a little better of what's going on. It's going to leave me with a fairly meager root system, but I've got to do this someday. I can't have that big lump in the roots. I mean, it's, you can bury it, but I want to get rid of it. So that's kind of got it reduced back to just that lump. So now I can come in, I'm hoping, and start nibbling that lump away. I could try and cut it with a saw, but I don't know. Well, let me get my smaller ball-shaped cutters and just see if I can kind of whittle away at it. The wood isn't like really hard. So with every tool, there's a limit to how much, pressure they can take before they break. So I've got to be careful of that I don't overdo these small pruners by taking too big a chunk off at once. So I'll work away on reducing this lump, or eliminating it, and then we'll come back and see what's left. Hopefully enough roots that the tree will do well. I have finished whittling away that big lump on the bottom of the root system. So here is a look where I took that lump off. You can see the root base is quite radial now. It's looking much, much better. So I will seal that cut on the bottom with some rubber cement. It might, preserve that wood a little bit as the tree heals. All right, here I go with the rubber cement. Good dab of it. And then I'll come in and just seal that big woody part on the bottom. Make sure I use lots here. And a bit up the side here too. I removed part of that lump here too. Okay, so next I need to do a little root pruning. Before I begin the root pruning, I just want to, try the tree out in the pot. So I don't mind, I want like a radial root base, but I don't mind them growing long and down into the pot. So I think, you know, I can do some root pruning, maybe reduce it back to about this level, and that will work out really well. So I will do that. I'll come in and cut off these long roots, kind of making a bit of a flat root base on the bottom. And then I need to look at my surface roots here. These are looking good once I untangle them. This one's up too high here, I'll remove that. These are a little high too, but I've got to keep them. That one can come off. Yeah, this one's a little high, but again, it's the best root I have. I think it'll look okay in the future. These roots I need to prune off. You can see it hit the edge of the pot and they're growing kind of funny. So I'll get rid of that in this part. The rest look pretty good. So I think that's it. You know, I took quite a bit off, but I think there's plenty on there. So this is the front of the tree. There's that groove where it was wrapped around a pole, and you can see that groove extends around the back of the tree here, which is pretty ugly. So this is definitely, you know, the better front. It still has this groove here, but I'm hoping that grows out in the future. Or, you know, I could carve a scar in there that'll heal over, something that looks a little more natural, but that'll be for the future. Okay, so the tree fits really nicely in the pot. And I think this pot goes with the color of the green here, goes with the dark leaves nicely. This color goes with the trunk quite nicely. I think it's a really good pot, this Erin pot. There's the Erin stamp on the inside. Yeah, really nice pot. And I picked this as the front of the pot. It's got this kind of drip down here. The other side has less of a drip. This side has a good drip, but the glaze isn't as nice at the bottom. So I think this will be the front of my pot here. So I'll get the drainage screen in, a base layer of soil, and get the tree planted. Okay, I've got a base layer of soil in the pot. So there's the front of the pot, the front of the tree. So I'm going to place it in the pot now. And then I have to position all these fine surface roots, because they will thicken up in the future and become like major surface roots. So the better I have them positioned now, the further ahead I am in the future. Because the thicker they are, the harder they are to reposition. Or, you know, almost impossible. You have to do it with pruning. Okay, so the tree's in the pot. Now I've got to check my position in the pot. I could come up just a bit there. Slant it a bit more like that. Yeah, I think that's pretty good there. So I'll start filling it in with soil, surrounding those roots, and I'll do some final tweaking of the position before I water the tree. Now the tree is staying upright by itself. So let me go to the front view and I'll just check the position in the pot. Here's a look at the tree in the pot. So think that's looking pretty good. I like that the trunk, where it comes out of the soil, is quite central in the pot, and there's enough clearance for the, well, I guess it's sort of a semi-cascade or cascade part of the tree. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I have no complaints about that, so I will continue working the soil into the roots, top it up, and get the tree watered. Yeah, the tree's feeling nice and firm in the pot now. Got all those air spaces out of the root system. The soil's making good contact. Okay, I'll top it up. Just tamp the soil down. That's looking good. So now I can water the tree. Okay, here I go with the water. I'll rotate the tree around in the pot so you can see it from all angles. So here's the front, coming around to the right-hand side, to the back, the left-hand side, and back to the front. Here's a view looking down on the tree also, so you can kind of see what it looks like from some different angles. I think my Chinese Privet made big steps forward today, getting the root system sorted out. I removed that large lump underneath the base of the trunk, and I got it into a pot that I think suits the tree really well. I don't think you could ask for a better match. So we'll see how it grows this summer. I think it'll grow really, really well. Maybe it'll even flower. So that is all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.